did you hear what she just did with her vocals? They're back. Time to check out another one by The Warning. Excited because it's been way too long since I've explored this trio. It's perfect for you.
Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize.
The awesome sister trio and their amazing rock music. Are you ready? They're blowing up, taking off. So let's check it out together. Hit that subscribe button and here we go. Oh yeah. Ooh, that's so clean. Ooh, let's go back. Do you hear what they're doing? Ooh, the drums are clean in this one. Ooh, and that riff on the electric guitar. They always do this. I don't know how, but they keep finding these awesome hooks. I've said it before when it comes to songwriting and music compositions and production. It helps to have a catchy hook. Sometimes songwriters will start with that, right? With some type of hook, some type of melody, chord progression that's catchy, that sticks, and then come back to that in the chorus or have it throughout the song or certain riffs with the various instrumentation. But here they're coming in strong from the get-go. I love that. That scream, sick, and then just boom. Total hype from the get-go. Let me start over. Da 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 da. That's so catchy. That's fire too, man. Yeah, girls. Catchy. Did you hear what she just did with her vocals? There is so much going on here, guys. Da 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 da. Like the way she just went into those high notes, the way she just drifted into those high notes and into some of that head voice. Oh my gosh, that just gave it so much dynamics. Instead of screaming it here, right, or belting those high notes, amazing. Guys, those elements of even the music video, there's so much going on here. I tell you this, y'all know we're all about music and psychology, and I love looking at things from a holistic standpoint. Body, mind, psyche, spirit, right? And I love how the visuals are powerful here. The black and white, that pink, the font, that pink font made me think of one of Pink's albums, actually one from, I don't remember when, I would have to look it up. Was it Misery or Miserable or Misunderstood? I had that album. And that pink font just gives it that punk vibe, that rock vibe. Musically, their composition here, I feel like they're just taking it up a notch. With every year that goes by, they're getting better and better. The music video is really, really well done. The black and white gives it a lot of character, very unique. The pink font, that flash to her skeleton, to bones when she's speaking of death, being alive versus dead. There's a whole lot of elements in the music video. I might just go back and review it because I don't want to miss anything. But there's so much going on in my senses, from the visual stimulation and the imagery that I'm seeing to the sounds, from the electric guitar, that chord progression and the riffs, to the drums, to just the whole feeling. I mean, this is Solid. Let's keep listening, and then I'll go back. Ooh, that glide.
Kill the
Silence! Give me violence. Kill the silence. Till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel. Leave me ruined. Show me that I'm human. Till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel.
This is nuts. Got to be kidding me. Oh, I'm listening to this again with you guys. We're doing this 2 times today. There's so much, and I don't want to miss any of it. Ooh! Oh, that was good. From the time that I've been exploring their music and experiencing with them, for one, them growing into these beautiful, powerful, fierce, gorgeous young women, to seeing their skill being refined more and more. I mean, they've been good from the start, but I feel like their skill is being refined. We're going from good musicians or great musicians to just, oh, snap, in a class of their own. Let me break down my thoughts, because my mind is all over the place and I'm so excited right now. You know, when it comes to reacting and analyzing songs, obviously you guys have expectations what you want to get out of these videos, and I want to do a good job analyzing, not missing anything. I will, because I'm human, and there's elements that you might notice or you will interpret different than me, so I bring in a level of subjectivity. We can learn from one another. So comment below what this makes you think, what it makes you feel. We'll talk about the lyrics in a second, and we'll dive into some of the psychology that I'm perceiving here behind this. Alejandra, or Ali, Paulina, and Daniela, or Pau, I think Paulina's nickname is, are this amazing sister trio that are, as I said, just getting better and better. We got Dani on vocals, guitar. We got Pau on the drums. On vocals, plays piano too. We got Ale, not Ali, my bad. On bass, backing vocals, plays piano as well. Multi-instrumentalists, these girls. And like I said, just getting better and better. The way that the drums carried this from the start, Pau was killing it. I try to focus on different ladies at different reactions, right? Sometimes the vocals stand out to me a lot. I mean, Dani is just a really amazing vocalist. Even here, I'm seeing even more growth with her vocal abilities. Sometimes I try to focus a little more on Ale, because, sometimes the bassist or certain members of a band, they fall into the background because we focus on who's singing, or we focus on who carried the song for the most part, right? But every one of them is such a key component to making this amazing. All of them and their ability and their sass and their fire. Pau here, with the way she was playing those drums, the clean precision. Ooh, that girl's good. To the snare and the kick drum, and just the energy, right? Psychologically, you can play an instrument in various ways, right? And obviously the timbre and texture of the way that a voice presents itself, the way that we play instruments will change, right? You can hit a drum with a lot of force and aggression. It'll make a different sound than when you bang it. Even the type of drumsticks you use, right? Muted or various sizes, various material, all creates different sounds. And the various sounds and sound waves we perceive as human beings affect our mind in various ways, right? Just as much as we people, the way we act, our emotions, and what we do affects how we perceive things, right? I had an awesome conversation, I won't say too much yet, with a neurologist. She also is on YouTube. Go check her out. Neurogal MD has a YouTube channel, does reactions as well, and breaks it down from the neurological standpoint. She was educating me on the mirror neurons and how when we see other people do things or experience certain things, our mirror neurons are fired, right? They kick off their signaling, and we get to experience a level of pleasure with the person we're observing. So all these different factors affect how we perceive things psychologically. You perceive me, and it affects your emotion. You may dislike me. You may find it pleasing. You may find it relatable, right? We have different ways we respond. Same thing with music. Again, how we engage with an instrument creates a different sound and is perceived by us differently. Some things may cause us to feel a level of peace. Some could cause us to feel a level of anxiety. That's where it's so fascinating, and where music is art. Sometimes even the same timbre or even the same music genre will make us feel various things. For some, metal, hard rock will increase levels of anxiety. For others, it may be some type of trigger. Yet again, for others, it's cathartic or exciting, and it allows that adrenaline kick, or we get that dopamine fix. I love how Powell was carrying it with the drums, how from the get-go, that strong intensity came in. There was a level of aggression that I perceived, and it was fitting to the lyrics. It was fitting to the vibe they're going for here. Donnie and her vocals and the vocal range, from the way she drifted into those high notes, I think at times partly head notes, and then later on screaming with such force. That is not easy. For one, it's not easy to do it without ruining your voice, but also doing it in a way that it really conveys what you're trying to convey, right? There's various types of screams, obviously, and it takes a level of skill, but also being able to belt with such technique at the top of your lungs at a high note. So there was this dynamic here from singing it softly to screaming it. Then at times, and I'm going to review it and point it out to you when we listen again, that the richness and the timbre of her voice when the lips were moving, having the lips and the mouth move, gave it a total Rolling Stones vibe here, honoring a legendary rock band, in my opinion. The black and white, that pink font, as I mentioned, made me think of Pink's album. I think it was Misunderstood. And so those elements of pop, those nods to rock, in my opinion, but still making it their own, not a copy of any kind, but having those touches that we could perhaps relate to things we've seen or experienced or enjoyed in the past, but still it being completely unique. Ale on the bass, everyone just completely in their zone, but working together so beautifully. There's something about these ladies and the way that they work as sisters, I feel, that really adds a certain flair. I feel you can almost tell when people have been living together or are related by blood or have worked together for so long beyond a band that just practices together. There's a type of bond that is almost communicated through their music, I feel. I love also how there's a certain theme. Their music is a great variety, even though it's in the genre of rock and those types of subgenres. There is still diversity and variety to the various songs that they put out. It's not always the same thing. I don't feel like it's one of those bands where you kind of know what it's going to sound like, and it's cookie cutter. Even if there's a similar sound or brand or red thread throughout their work, it's still unique. It's still its own masterpiece. For example, but even looking at some of the thematic that they deal with, from animosity to the various songs or song titles that they've chosen, often dealing with the hard, the heavy, the uncomfortable, also very fitting, right? To the music genre, to the intensity that they're bringing in here, and yet having those paradox elements, right? From the pink contrast to the black and white, still giving it a feminine touch and a sweet touch, to smiling and doing cute little expressions as they're singing about death and sick and those intense things, right? That contrast, that paradox. Even things like the skeleton flashing when singing of death, or the lips moving, right? An element of beauty, femininity, yet singing of something that is sick, that is talking about death, talking about something that is rotting, or the splat of the fly all in pink, right? Something that's gory or gross or sick and rot is presented in a cute way. Even those postures, right? Riding on motorcycles, being intense and fiery, but still being dressed in attractive rock wear, right? The high boots, the skirts. This contrast that is showing, in a way, I would almost perceive that as you can't box me in, right? Wearing that rock and that gear, riding the motorcycles, swatting the fly, but there's still the pink and the lips and that, not being boxed in, showing those contrasts, which fits to me which fits to me in regards to the topic here, life and death, right? Trying to be alive and feel, but also talking about sickness. Really interesting. I want to go back and listen to it again with you guys so we can pick up on some more things. But let me look real quick at the lyrics because those are also pretty unique. Let me pull them up real quick. I'm going to just skip through a little. We'll talk about it, and then I want to go over it with you guys one more time. When I see the problem staring at my face, I want to kiss it, lick it, make it my own. See, even here, very interesting contrast. We're talking about a problem, but we want to lick it and kiss it, right? That's not usually how most people would say they want to deal with problems. They usually want to fight or flight. We want to run away or we freeze. We want to attack it head on, depending on our personality, what we've experienced in life, our level of trauma, our attachment styles, how we attach to things and relate to things, how we identify with things that happen in life, especially struggles and problems. We'll engage it differently. But most of the time, problems are something we want to either fight or escape. But here, they're coming at it in a sensual way. Licking, kissing, sounds sexual, sounds like they want to engage with it in a very different way. Some might even say in a sick way, right? When I see the problem staring in my face, I want to kiss it, lick it, make it my own. So instead of fighting it or removing it, I'm accepting it. I'm engaging with it. I'm becoming intimate with the problem. I want to taint the color till it's faded and gone, okay? Fitting also because most of this video is in black and white, void of color. Bleeding just to feel alive. Isn't that interesting? And there too lies a contrast because when we think of bleeding, we think of injury, problems, suffering, and in life, that to most of us is the opposite of living. We want to live happily. We want to pursue joy and peace. We want to be free. We want a pleasure, free of suffering and pain, free of death, right? So to say bleeding makes me feel alive could imply self-harm, right? The way that sometimes people feel hurt themselves because they want to feel or to express, to externally experience the suffering and pain they have inside, or because they're numb and they're trying to feel. But here, because they're being so playful, even with the music video, while it could have references to self-harm, I'm also perceiving here more a play on the concept of bleeding to feel alive, right? Without bleeding, without suffering, how alive would we really feel, right? In life, most of us are pursuing this desire to be free of pain, free of suffering, free of bad things, things we deem bad, things we have labeled as insufferable. We suffer because we have judged things to be insufferable. And the way we judge our surroundings, our circumstances, determines how we experience life, right? If I perceive my environment to be miserable, I will be miserable. If I judge people I'm in a relationship with to be bad or harmful to me, I will feel harmed and I will respond in kind. And so here to say bleeding to feel alive, it shows this duality to me of what life is really about. Because one could argue, if we didn't know dark, we wouldn't know what light looks like, right? If we didn't have both the presence of things and the absence thereof, we wouldn't understand the presence of it, right? If everything was and there was nothing that is not, we would not understand or experience what is. We experience what is because it operates in the presence of what is not. I know that might sound a little confusing, so I'll try to just break it down. Kind of like the light and night, the dark and light that I just said. We know what is light because we know what it is to be in darkness. And we know darkness because we know light. So there's this opposite here going on that I'm perceiving. And then they continue and they say, give me violence, kill the silence. Interesting too. Is this a reference to a battlefield in the mind, this turmoil where we want to get rid of the silence, get rid of the void? We're looking for violence till it makes me feel sick. Now, could this be sick as in kind of Ren with his sick boy, this wordplay on when something is dope, sick, awesome, or sick as in I want to be ill? Most people don't long to be ill, but sometimes people long to feel, and that would include pain. That would include sickness, right? We don't know what health looks like unless we experience sickness, right? We know what a stomach ache feels like because it's unpleasant and because we usually don't have it. There's just a couple of thoughts here that come to mind. I want to make mistakes and live in regret. Don't want to give, just take, get. Don't want to give, just take, get out of my head. Okay, and so here again, lyrics that imply what many of us would deem sick, unhealthy, not right. I don't want to give, just take. That sounds greedy. That's not what you're supposed to do, right? You're not supposed to just live in regret. Get out of my head, a reference to that mental turmoil. If I break it, fake it, don't care what comes next. If there's a price to pay, I'll deal with it when I'm dead. Complete rebellion, perhaps, saying, I don't care anymore. I'm all about taking. I'm all about living with regret. I'll deal with it when I'm dead. I'm going to live life to the fullest. When we look at psychology and philosophy, we can find that over the course of history, various schools of thought and the great philosophers would deal with those various approaches to suffering and pleasure, right? Some who lean towards the hedonistic side, seeking out pleasure, looking for meaning in life through finding pleasure, easing pain, right? The whole concept of psychology, the study of the psyche, and the desire to help people in therapy is to rid of suffering, right? It shouldn't be to harm people. It should be to help people. And that often occurs by identifying, diagnosing the problem, going back to your childhood, again, depending on the school of thought, right? Do we look at past trauma? Do we dive into the past and what happened in childhood? Do we look into the ego and the superego, the subconscious? Do we focus on the present or set goals for the future? Do we focus only on our thought patterns? There's so many ways that we can deal with trying to figure out where's my suffering coming from and how can I heal it? And how do we deal with death and life? How do we deal with consequences when it comes to psychology, right? There's so many resources and debates on how to approach things. Here, I'm perceiving this utter rebellion to say, I'll deal with it when I'm dead. I don't care. I'm not even going to try. I am breathing just to live a lie. Is this a way of dealing with that irony we face in life, that we're breathing, we're going through life, we're trying so hard, but we're living a lie because we're all going to die. We're running out of time. I'm rotting in my place. Referring to entropy here, right? That everything is decaying. We're headed towards death. Is this their way of dealing with existential questions? Death anxieties? We're all rotting. We're all decaying. We're all getting older. Wrinkles. Time is running through our hands. We're all headed towards death, towards that decay. And everyone deals with it differently, as I've often said. And there are those who try to counter it, defy it, deny it, look to religion for comfort, don't want to deal with it to begin with. Is this perhaps just another way of dealing with it by rebelling and saying, I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to take. I'm going to have no regrets. I'm going to deal with this when I'm dead. Any price that I have to pay for the choices I'm making right now, we'll talk about that later when I'm dead. This is my way, perhaps, is this what that song is saying, of dealing with that, with the sickness of life, with the rotting that we're headed towards. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it because it's definitely makes for good lyrics for rock like this, right? It's a interesting theme to talk about. Sick and tired of always wasting time. Okay, maybe we're getting closer to the gist of it. Give me violence, kill the silence till it makes me feel sick. This is so interesting. Yeah, I am perceiving this. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm perceiving this as this desire to feel something. And sometimes, instead of looking to the pleasure or feeling things by doing good and giving to others and being kind and trying to get it right, sometimes people try to also make sense of the fact that we're all going to rot, that we're all headed for decay by saying, kill the silence, I want violence. This attempt perhaps at tackling this uncomfortable head on. But I'm looking at it from an existential standpoint right now. I may be missing a lot because I'm looking at it through that school of thought till it makes me feel sick. I'm rotting in my place. Another way to maybe interpret this is this desire to break free from feeling stuck. Give me violence. I'm rotting in my place. When you're stuck in a place, you're not moving. Things are stagnant. So you're looking to break free. And sometimes there's this desire of breaking away from that by fighting it. Instead of freezing, instead of not dealing with it and denying it, we want to tackle it head on. Leave me ruined. Show me that I'm human. Interesting. And another thought here could be when people do this, when people express themselves through this way, perhaps there's this desire to say, hey, I want to be alive. I want to be accepted and loved. I want to feel something till I feel sick. I see this as a wordplay here. Sick as in this is dope, this is fire, because that's what that track is to me. Or sick as in speaking of rot and decay, because we're, stuck in entropy. I don't know. That's the interesting things about their lyrics. I appreciate that, is that there's quite a bit of poetry, very skilled songwriting, but there's so much that can just be, that's left for interpretation, where people can break it apart what it means to them. But it fits to the song and the composition. Let's listen to it one more time. Ready? I'm so impressed with how clean that is. And the imagery, the visuals, the bike, the fire. That hook. Da, 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 da. They came in strong with this one.
Help me now, 'cause I only need the bass. When I see the problem staring straight at my face, I wanna kiss it, make it my own. Wanna tint the color till it's faded and gone.
Okay, real quick, and then we're going to keep listening. She said debase, to reduce something in value or quality, right? To degrade. I want to degrade when I see the problem. Help me. Maybe that was a key word right there. Maybe that was the key, the clue I'm looking for to solve this. Help me. I only debase, degrade, dope, debase. And the kick drum and the bass, everything's just hard up in here. Cool wordplay, cool word choice there. Want to taint the color till it's faded and gone. Maybe an expression of, hey, I got problems. Help me. Like this, I only want to degrade when I see the problem. I want to kiss it, lick it. Like the way that I engage with problem and suffering and sickness and rot is not good. I need help. I'm twisted in the head. Maybe? Let's keep going.
Bleeding just to feel alive. I'm rotting in my place. Life is nothing more than passing time. Give me violence, kill the silence. Till it makes me feel, till it makes
The
me
harmonies.
feel, till it makes me feel sick.
The hook.
I wanna make mistakes and live in regret. Don't wanna give, just take it out of my head. And if I break it, fake it, don't care what comes next. If there's no place to go, I'll deal with it when I'm dead. Breathing just to live a lie. I'm running in my place.
I love that part.
Sick and tired of always wasting time.
Her voice is epic, man.
Give me violence, kill the silence. Till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel sick. Leave me ruined. Show me that I'm human. Till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel
Oh, being pulled apart. The Fly also a unique, a slick little addition here, because when we think of rot, right, fruit rotting, food going bad, there's flies often.
I'm running in place, I'm running in place, I'm begging you. Give me
I love this part. Listen.
kill the silence. Give me violence, kill the silence. Till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel, till it makes me feel sick. Leave me ruined. Show me that I'm human. Till it makes me feel, till
The harmonies.
Sick.
That was dope. Yeah, these chicks are on another level. These chicks are on another level. That was fire. That was flippin' fire. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Total rebellion. Total just, I want to feel till it makes me sick. I'm going to choose violence. Going for it hard. What do you think? Comment below. I got to process this some more. Let me know below. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo.